Now we just wait for my partner. Must be getting some grub. Hmm. Hmm. For those wondering why I haven't said anything yet, I'm waiting for my partner, MegamanNG, to show up. He does have a tendency to be a little bit late, but regardless. For those wondering what tonight's show is going to be about, our picks for Super Bowl 57, and we get to run down how each team that didn't make the cut fared before we get to the two that did. I'm just getting in contact with them. Hello, Blake. Oh, Marcos. Hey. I know, Marcos. Come on, Jose, where are you? You're 5 minutes late. I know you have a tendency for it, but you're never this late. I'll let him slide tonight.
Oh my God! Sorry, I'm late. I had no idea. Well, now I'm here now, so let's just do it.
I'm adding Marcos to stream too, if you don't mind, Jose.
I don't mind it either, because besides, the Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Okay,
I know,
folks.
right? The Super Bowl is in 3 days.
Let's first run down the teams
Yep, this
failed.
is it.
Let's first run down the teams that didn't get this far. The teams that got
We are
knocked
at
out.
the point of no return.
I know. First, let's run down the teams that didn't get to the Super Bowl that were in the postseason. The Seahawks. I mean, I'll admit they had a good run this year with Geno Smith under center, but they basically limped across the finish line and got help from the Lions, who, after the Seahawks beat the Rams, all they could do was play spoiler to the Packers. And once they Francisco, sure, they did well in the first half, but second half they gave up 25 of the 31 points that were scored in that half and lost by 18, if I remember correctly. Mostly because their pass defense couldn't handle Purdy, the combination of Purdy, Samuel Kittle, and CMC. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it a step in the right direction for the Seahawks that they shed Russell Wilson's dead cap and shipped it out to Denver? Yeah. Just think in the draft come April. Because they get a first round pick. If they get Denver's first round pick in the top 5. Am I right?
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Let's be blunt, boys. Chargers harder than they've ever charged before. Fucking blew it. How do you blow a 27-point lead at the half when you had a +5 turnover margin?
I don't even have the right words for that either.
You, Marcos? Marcos, your mic.
Your mic's muted, dude.
Marcos, your mic is muted.
My headsets are acting wonky lately.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on how the Chargers blew their game against Jacksonville?
Jacksonville. They could have done better if the quarterback would have not sucked. However, they did pretty good for the most part. I mean, they made it this far into the playoffs, but then they got knocked on their butts.
True. Miami. I thought they were going to get mollywopped with Skylar Thompson under center against Buffalo. Buffalo played horribly that game and still won it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Which basically gave the blueprint to the Bengals on how to beat the Bills the following week. But regardless, I think Miami could be a future contender for the division crown in the AFC East.
Miami Dolphins?
Yeah.
They didn't even stand a chance against Tom Brady. They kept being beat by him.
Yeah, but with Brady out of the division, they've been doing better. And besides, they always beat New England when they were in Miami anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, but now that Tom Brady is retired, I'm going back to the Broncos.
Denver is a complete mess right now. Even when they fired Nathaniel Hackett.
And
Who
hired
guess
Sean
what?
Now the
Payton.
old coordinator for the Jets, and that's going to be a shit heap.
And I thought the Jets would actually do better, but turns out they're not.
My uncle's a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders are a mess in and of itself.
Yeah, didn't they ship David Carr out to New Orleans recently?
Yeah.
Anyway, Minnesota. One word describes this team. Say it with me. Frauds!
They've always been frauds.
Yeah, but not to this level. A 13-win team with a -3 point differential because they got their asses kicked by just 4 teams with a point differential of 10 plus in those games. Throw in that their defense sucked dick, and the Giants were able to have a field day against them on next Sunday.
True.
And then Kirk Cousins defining his legacy with a 3-yard check down to TJ Hawkinson with Xavier McKinney all over him. Vikings, skull this, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, the Vikings should just take the L as it is.
They may as well take the L.
Baltimore. What can describe this team? Incompetent offense. Lamar Jackson being a diva with terms of how much money he's getting paid, plus he's a glass cannon. And the quarterback issue plagued Baltimore all year. I mean, 3rd and 1, I understand a QB sneak, but trying to leap into the end zone, no. You go under. You try to go under the wall, not over it. That led to the fumble, a 98-yard touchdown run, and it screwed them in Cincinnati. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Greg Roman's gone. John Harbaugh, tick, you motherfucker.
Tick tock.
Tampa Bay. You could tell through that whole game, Brady was just phoning it in. Psychological off the field, perfecting him on the field. Throwing the fact that Todd Bowles is a competent coach. Great coordinator. But as a coach, he sucks balls. Case in point, his tenure with the Jets from 2016 to 2019, right?
Yep.
Right. I mean, now that Tom Brady is no longer part of their team and he's retired.
He should have retired a year ago. Brady should have retired last year, but that whole thing was a bloody act.
And the only reason they were still even remotely in that game against Dallas, Brett Maher couldn't kick a PAT to save his life.
He never could.
And Ben Shelby's mom was ranting and raving about that.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't she?
Put it that way. I mean, Tampa Bay, for what it's worth, even though they only won 1 Super Bowl,
Marcos,
against
Shelby and her family are Cowboys fans, not Bucs fans.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys did a pretty good job.
Except for the place kicking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Except for whenever the other teams go up against the Eagles, they just score 1 touchdown and that's it. They just let the Eagles win by default.
Moving on to Jacksonville. I mean, you could tell there was somewhat of another spark following the death of Uche before the end of last year. That was motivating them. But then again, this team only got in because they were in the weakest division overall in football, the AFC South. I mean, as bad as the NFC South was, at least there was a sense of balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Record-wise. But when you look at the NFC South records, it was complete shit. The AFC South records, excuse me. But that said, the Jaguars to lose a game that seemed winnable enough, especially when Mahomes went down for drive with a bum ankle, only trying to grind it out like a warrior and help the team win by 7. Jacksonville can at least hold their head high on that, right?
Right.
And with, and with that Duval guy gone, I mean, as much as I hate Doug Peterson, he at least knows how to coach a team.
Yep, that's how he was able to beat the Patriots in 2018.
And I think he could make the Jaguars a future contender for the Super Bowl. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I'm pretty sure that
we should have known that the Eagles, we only lost the Eagles by 6 in the finale because the Eagles were playing it safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially since they beat Tom Brady in Super Bowl 52, which was a complete disaster.
Anyway, once they got what they needed, all restraints were thrown out the window. It also doesn't help that the Giants actually won the coin flip and chose to kick it away. Stupid against this team. But let's face it, the talent gap was too wide for the Giants to overcome. Did they have a good season? Yes. Could have been better without the injuries and actual talent? Yes. Did they hold their head high on this season? To an extent, yes. But were they going to beat the Eagles? Deep down, we all knew that answer was no. Am I right?
3 times the Giants lost to the fucking Eagles. All because they give them the fucking win.
Yeah, and 2 of them were blowouts. The second one was just because they were playing it safe. It was so close.
Wow.
Moving on to Buffalo. All the narrative pieces in play, but there's always this one detail everyone missed. You know what it was?
Damar Hamlin.
Not aside from him. Twice
Josh Allen.
They faced the Bengals in the AFC division playoffs, and both times they got beat.
Yeah, because Josh Allen wouldn't even dare to do it.
In Cincinnati, but you think in Buffalo in the snow on paper this would be an easy matchup, but no. Josh Allen decides to play hero ball and neglect Devin Singletary. Diggs was basically covered most of the game, and Joe Burrow and the Bengals basically ripped through them. Now the question is, what kind of Super Bowl 23, 324? I'm not sure they'll be in a good enough shape. Allen's got to reel himself in mentally.
Well, aside from the Broncos having a new coach named Sean Payton, I'm pretty sure the Broncos may do a better job next season.
I'm talking about the Bills, Marcos.
Oh. Well,
Buffalo needs to find a way to rein in Josh Allen's hero ball tendencies.
True.
Otherwise, this team is going to be stuck in an infinite time loop again. Know what I mean, Jose? Dallas. I think we're starting to see the fall of Dak Prescott and the rise of Dick Midcott. And throwing Mike McCarthy's ineptitude on offense so much they fired his coordinator. And while Brett Maher redeemed himself on field goals, once again, he's been Charlie Brown when it comes to PATs. The only difference is the holder is not Lucy Van Pelt constantly pulling the ball away from him as he's about to kick it.
Jeez.
In the last 2 games the Cowboys played, he missed 6 out of 7 PATs put together. That was the finale against Washington.
Can you blame him?
I don't blame him at all.
I mean, is Dak starting to lose his potency? I think he is. I mean, in 12 games, he threw more pickoffs than anybody. 15 of them in the regular season.
My dad was upset when he saw his team lost.
But as Giants fans, Jose and I were relieved. We get a little bit of salt. The Cowboys don't go to the NFC title game, right?
Yeah, because Dak Prescott really demolished the Giants for whatever the reason.
When you get to the postseason, he falls to pieces. But then again, you can blame the coaching staff he's stuck with, and his head coach he's stuck with, Mike fucking McCarthy.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy should be fired.
But knowing how jackass Gary runs the team, and how stubborn and incompetent he's becoming, Cowboys are going to be like Buffalo, stuck in a time loop, not able to, constantly sticking to the old and not willing to embrace the new, the way I see it.
You're not wrong with it.
He's way more stubborn than Vegeta.
That's not the point.
Right? Now the conference title games. What screwed over the Bengals? 2 words. Ref ball!
It's more than just ref ball this time. Me and my stepdad saw the entire game while we were at Ecuador. It was like a bloody disaster. I mean, seriously, the Bengals' own hubris was what did them in.
True.
What is a hubris?
Yeah, because they were taking penalties.
Yeah, and most of them were pretty bad ones, and some you didn't even see the penalties, and yet they were thrown anyway.
Yeah, because the refs like to ensure it be rigged to favor what they want.
I have my window open.
This is why these days you wish robot refs would take over the NFL. At least
Would that be any better or any worse?
I don't know.
Cletus the dancing robot.
And then there's San Francisco. Same issue as the Giants. Kick
I
the
don't-
ball off to start the game. And Brock Purdy gets his arm busted. Josh Johnson goes into concussion protocol to bring Brock back in, and he can't throw more than checkdowns.
Here's the problem with that game. That game was just horrid.
Brock Purdy, more like Prick Derpy.
Don't you mean Brick Derpy?
That's what I said.
Sound like prick.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'm not good with words.
That's how bad it was with that game. And I sat through that nightmare.
I sat through it too. It was just, oh my god, it was embarrassing.
All because Reddick got Purdy's arm to a position where his elbow hit another Eagles helmet. And throwing his arm out of whack. But then again, with the team basically reduced to a third-string quarterback, back because the other two went down to the bug, San Francisco's been plagued with injuries 3 of the last 5 years, and it screwed them over. Am I right?
Yep.
Now we come down to this. The Chiefs versus the Eagles on Sunday.
I mean, to be fair, the Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54, and the Eagles are champions of Super Bowl 52.
Yeah, but this is a different. Yeah, but the Eagles, this is a different breed of cats. They're not the Rocky Balboa underdogs they were in.
They're not underdogs anymore once they won that ring. Once you win that ring, you're no longer an underdog. Now you got something. Now you got to prove something on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Last time the Chiefs got here, Tom Brady mollywopped them in a game that would have been a passing of the torch from Brady to Mahomes. But then again, it was also the Chiefs making poor plays, dumb ref ball, and stupid-ass ref ball.
Bad decisions.
Decisions.
On the other hand, for the Eagles, when you look at this team, when you look at the Eagles, did they really have, on paper, they were supposed to have a tough schedule, but they ripped through it like 2-ply.
They ripped through it like tissue paper.
Right. I mean, with the exception of fumbling the ball constantly against Washington and the 2 games Garner Minshew had to throw. Playing against Dallas.
They literally ripped it through like tissue paper.
And it was
You didn't need to repeat that.
that was embarrassing. I mean, that was a horrible schedule structure that the Eagles just took advantage of.
I mean, both teams are back in the Super Bowl, so whichever one wins.
On the other hand, there were some close calls for the Chiefs, like against Los Angeles, against Vegas. And they did suffer a win in a pretty hard-fought game against Buffalo, against Buffalo Cincinnati. So did the Chiefs have a rougher schedule? I say they did. Was it just easy? Debatable. Am I right?
Yeah.
I just hope things don't get screwy with the Chiefs.
This is the reason you have Andy Reid coaching the Chiefs and one of his disciples, Nick Sirianni, coaching the Eagles. And when you look at this, on paper, all the X factors favor Philadelphia. Passing attack, Philadelphia. Ground attack, Philadelphia. Secondary, Philadelphia. Front line, Philadelphia.
This is probably going to be a no-brainer, but I think Philly's going to win it.
The only X factor Kansas City may have is their tenacity and never say die attitudes.
Yep. From what I'm aware, it's not possible for the Kansas City Chiefs to win again and become world champions
For the
once
record,
again.
guys, word of advice: boycott the Pro Bowl from here on out with the way they did this year. What a load of bullshit.
Of course it is.
I mean, flag football, tic-tac-toe. Why taint this?
I have no idea what's going on through Roger Goodell's brain.
I mean, bad enough that Gary, whatever his name is, tainted the NHL All-Star Game by turning it into a tournament between the divisions. Bad enough Adam Silver tainted the NBA All-Star Game, saying first to 24 in the final quarter wins. Bad enough that Bob Manfred last year decided to taint the MLB All-Star Game by making innings into a damn home run derby. But this is the straw that breaks the camel's back for me when it comes to All-Star Game.
So,
Turning
out of
the
all my
Pro Bowl into a damn pig carnival.
So, out of all the false predictions I had for each football game, I'm pretty sure this one's going to be false as well. My guess, either the Chiefs win by 10 or 5, or the Eagles win by a solid 25 points.
I'm going to say Eagles by 13. What about you, Jose?
My guess would probably be the same.
By 13, Philadelphia?
Yep.
And believe me, folks, we hate to say that as Giant fans and a Bronco fan. But
Well, at least Sean Payton will do better with the Broncos.
we are just looking at this from a very pragmatic perspective. All the cards stacked in the Eagles' favor. Nope. Through the cheeseburger, someone's getting a victory cheesesteak. Because, let's face it, that secondary is too banged up and too young to overcome the Eagles' pass.
Yeah.
And when you throw in ground weapons for Jalen Hurts, he's got Boston Scott. He's got Miles Sanders. He's got Kenneth Gainwell. Defensively, how's that O-line going to hold up against a team whose front four have over 70 sacks between them?
Well, might as well get my Super Bowl snacks on and drinks.
Well, as much as I hate to close this one out, I do it with this. I really hate this song, no matter how damn catchy it is.
It's okay. We're just in for one hell of a ride.
I really hate this.
I hate it too. I mean, of all the teams that would have gone to the Super Bowl, it just had to be the Chiefs and the Eagles. I thought it was going to be the 49ers and the Chiefs again. But for some reason, the 49ers fucked up.
areas you're not supposed to, but that doesn't progress the story since you usually need a special item in order to do so. However, in Metroidvania-like manner, the game informs you what you need to go do something in order to progress.
Purdy
So,
usually.
finding out who has the medicine to heal
Great
confusion,
Derpy. Ever.
I true.
first, informing them that they must look for a way to free him. Later in the game, some of that linearity does open.
Well, let's just see how things pan out, and let's pray that we're wrong and the Chiefs win it.
Yeah.
We're picking the Eagles.
If Mahomes plays his cards right, he might be able to pull a big one. Especially now that he has Chad with him.
Chad Henne?
Yeah.
As a backup.
Yeah.
What good will that do? Not much.
True.
Unless he decides to become a Giga Chad and actually outbeat the Eagles.
Not funny, Marcos. And
It's never funny.
ain't happening.
I know it's not funny, but
Can you not do that? Seriously.
sorry.
Seriously, this is not a laughing matter. You only get one shot at the Super Bowl, and if you blow it, that's it.
Question is, can Jalen Hurts define his legacy?
Well,
Only one
we'll
way to
find out.
I'd like to thank you guys for showing up. Leave a comment, smash the like, sub to our channels. This is Metal Sonver, aka Marcos, MegamanNG, and myself, Mets2128, signing out. Bid you adieu. Goodbye. Good night.
Peace out.
Peace.
And cut.